thank you to the viewers watching from home. I want to welcome our candidates. To your left is Democratic incumbent Mayor Marty Small Sr., and to your right is Republican challenger Naeem Khan. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to direct questions and 30 seconds for follow-up responses as appropriate. Each question will go to both candidates unless otherwise specified. We want to get to as many issues as possible, so in an effort to keep things moving along, candidates, please be mindful of the time clock. And for the audience in the room with us, please refrain from any applause until the end of the debate. The Street Center is committed to providing a forum for civil discourse and policy debate, so thank you to both candidates for participating and engaging with voters directly as part of the democratic process. Let's begin. The order tonight was predetermined with the candidates. Mr. Khan, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. I want to thank the Stockton University for hosting this great event, and I want to thank the Press of Atlantic City for sponsoring this debate. My name is Naeem Khan. As a lot of you guys know me, that I own Garden State Fields. I started my life as a gas attendant. Slowly, I built my life. I bought the business, then I bought the property, and now, thank goodness that I own an oil company that is located on the same place behind the gas station. I have multiple properties in Atlantic City. I do real estate. I have a good experience in business, and I want to transfer that experience to the people of Atlantic City. And I'm asking them for support to give me a chance to serve this city and make better lives for the residents of Atlantic City and the whole county, because Atlantic City means the whole county. The Atlantic City is doing good, the whole county is doing good. So that's why I'm asking to support column A all the way on November 4th. Thank you.
Mr. Small, you may begin your 1 minute opening statement.
Yes, I'm Mayor Marty Small Sr., Mayor of the great city of Atlantic City. I like to say that I'm Atlantic City born, I'm Atlantic City bred, and when I die, I'll be Atlantic City dead. I love this city. I think it's important that the mayor lives in the city. 23 straight years, from school board to city council, 6 years as mayor, I've been elected uninterrupted service by the people of Atlantic City. The people believe in me. Professionally, I started out as a social caseworker, then ran the state program, then the Boys and Girls Club, then the school system, and 1 year at Principal Academy Charter. That was all part-time while I served the city's 2nd ward as a councilman for almost 16 years. Just the last 6 years, I've been a full-time mayor in the great city of Atlantic City. We've excelled in property tax relief, we've excelled in senior and youth programs, multicultural programs, LGBTQ+. We kept the city clean and safe, and new investment is coming here to the great city like never before. People always said that no one would invest private money, and all this development is happening under the small administration. Betafield, K-Hop Union, the Kushner Project, just to name a few, and we would like 4 more years to continue our progress.
First question goes to Mr. Khan. Under your leadership, what steps will city government take to increase educational, recreational, or employment opportunities for young people of Atlantic City?
Well, we have to build a strong economy, because as you see, we're good in summer because we have a lot of tourists in Atlantic City that come in. But in winter, it gets a little slow, because of the ocean, and it's not too many people come in Atlantic City. So I think we have to build a strong economy locally, besides the casinos, so we can have the opportunity for the people. They don't leave Atlantic City, as you've seen for the last 10, 15 years. The residents are getting less. We used to have about 50,000 population, now we have about 40,000 populations, because the local economy is not that strong. And a lot of as the cab drivers here, as the casino workers, they see they've been getting laid off because not too many tourists come here in the winter. So I think if we build a strong local economy, that can create a lot of jobs for youth and everybody in Atlantic City.
Thank you.
Buzz, can you repeat the question again, please?
Under your leadership, what steps will the city government take to increase educational, recreational, or employment opportunities for young people in Atlantic City?
Yes, Buzz, we're going to continue what we've done. We don't have to worry about being prepared because we've been prepared. we've been doing the job. As far as education for residents, we used to taught this great city of Atlantic City's residents for free how to invest. We have the Mayor's Office Small Business Academy. We have a Great Day University, the School of Financial Wellness, which is going to show the residents how to improve their credit as well as financial wellness with a full financial plan. Recreation. Another mayor thought it was robbery to take the recreation department away. Mayor Small has brought the recreation department back better and bigger than ever. We also have youth services. As far as jobs, we've been creating jobs. Jobs are up in this economy. People are getting great opportunities in city government to expand the services of the residents that has never, ever, ever happened before. We have young professionals in good positions here in the great city of Atlantic City. They're all from Atlantic City, and we want to continue that progress that we've always done for the people of Atlantic City.
Thank you.
Please refrain from applause until the end. We want to make sure viewers at home are able to hear all the candidates, and we want to get to as many issues as we can. So please hold any applause. Atlantic City's reliance on the casino and tourism industries makes it vulnerable to market fluctuations. What strategies would you pursue to diversify the city's economic base? And we'll start with Mr. Khan.
Can you repeat the question?
Atlantic City's reliance on the casino and tourism industries makes it vulnerable to market fluctuations. What strategies would you pursue to diversify the city's economic base?
Well, the same problem. If the tourism not come so many, number one, the people don't feel safe here. Once, like a lot of the people, they come to Atlantic City, they go in the casinos, they stay in the casinos, and they take the Atlantic City Expressway and they go back. So the people have to feel safe to have invest in Atlantic City. And that the safety is a main concern in Atlantic City. So as a mayor, we have to make sure that everybody that comes here, they feel safe. And we have to have more programs. We have to create jobs. We have to have some strategy that we should be not with too much rely on casinos. We have to do things that we shouldn't have always rely on the casinos. That's why I'm saying we need to bring more people here so we can have the more job opportunities for the residents of Atlantic City.
Mr. Small.
Well, that wasn't the question. We talked about diversifying the economy. We've done that in a big way by not being afraid to introduce new industries here in the great city of Atlantic City. More importantly, we know with neighboring competition that we need to bring family entertainment here. And this all has happened under my watch. North Beach Mini Golf in an inlet has happened under Mayor Small. The world's largest indoor water park has happened under Mayor Small's watch. $100 million investment. And if people didn't believe that the city was safe and didn't believe in government, they wouldn't invest a penny because investment wasn't going on until I took the mayor's office. You're talking about a $3.4 billion project down the street. You're talking about a national reputable developer, K-Hamanian, building homes here, over 300 homes. You're talking about the Kushner family, a national reputable developer. So this and more, we've always diversified the economy, and we showed up in a big way. And by the way, men, women, political numbers lie, but the numbers and facts don't. The city is clean, and the city is safe.
This question goes to Mr. Khan. What actions in the city administration can take to enforce affordable housing stock in Atlantic City and ensure quality living conditions for its occupants?
Well, you've seen what happened with the Stanley homes, and that's because the mayor talks about that he's doing a great job. Then why did the Stanley homes was dealt like that, and why did the state the federal government has to take over for the housing society? And I've been doing a lot of campaigning, and I was going to the Maryland Avenue apartments back there, and I think we have to take care of those, otherwise there's going to be a second Stanley homes. So a lot of the houses in Atlantic City, we have a lot of the departments here. We need to go and check each and every house is in a good condition, or as a mayor, it's your job to see if any older homes have been here for over 100 years. We should go as a government go and inspect all the houses, and if they need any help, because we take the property taxes from them. And if they can't fix something, we as a government should fix for the people of Atlantic City.
Thank you.
Same question to you, Mr. Small.
Okay, first of all, the residents of Stanley Homes are not paying property taxes. Stanley Homes is an Atlantic City Housing Authority issue, which is the federal government. Nothing to do with the great city of Atlantic City. I guess because he's a stranger to the neighborhood, he would go back Maryland and try to scare the folks at back Maryland and say that back Maryland is next. If you knew what you were talking about, Mr. Khan, back Maryland, the land that back Maryland is on, all of those housing developments are deeded in perpetuity for affordable housing. I dealt with that when the residents, when I served back Maryland for almost 16 years, when people said that the Borgata was going to put a golf course there and everything. That land is deeded in perpetuity. And as far as improving the housing stock, look at the development that's happening under the small administration. From small developers, medium developers, and large. And just to let you know that 2 publications rated the great city of Atlantic City 10 and number 15 in the country in housing growth. The taxes are lowered and development is up under the small administration, 6 straight years.
We're moving on to leadership. Mr. Small, you're currently facing criminal charges. Understanding that you're entitled to due process and you've maintained your innocence, how will you handle your duties as mayor if the trial results in a conviction or otherwise limits your ability to serve? What would you say to voters who question whether the charges compromise your ability to lead effectively?
Well, the day that I found out that I was charged, I went on lunch break and I came back. The day when they unfortunately and sensationalized the raid on my home, I made sure my wife was fine. I went back to work. The residents of Atlantic City know me, and I haven't skipped a beat. That's how you know your leader can handle a crisis. I've handled the city's crisis through COVID, and I'm handling a personal crisis through myself. 63% of the people voted for Mayor Small, and 63% or more is going to re-elect me. So there's no question who that leader is. I show up to work each and every day, and I'm more motivated than ever. You know why? Because a leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And the great city of Atlantic City, as an organization, has never excelled like it has under Mayor Small's leadership, in spite of the politically charged charges that we will overwhelmingly win in court when we have our day. Thank you.
Please refrain from any applause. We want to keep things moving. Mr. Khan? That was a message to the audience. Yes, please refrain from any applause. We want to make sure we get to as many issues as we can. Mr. Khan, you've never held public office. What would you say to voters who question whether someone without any government experience can effectively manage the complexities of running a major city? And why should voters trust you to learn on the job?
Well, yes, I have never run the office before, but the current administration, who has run the office for the last 6 years and been on the city council for over 15 years, have seen how the city is being right now. If you guys don't believe me, come with me right now and walk on Atlantic Avenue, and you see how bad the Atlantic City is. You see the tourists don't come because they don't feel safe. I want to ask the question to the audience right now. Do they will allow their daughters to walk on Atlantic Avenue right now and go to any convenience store, and will they feel safe?
Yes. Please continue.
So that's why, well, they need to come and walk with me, and then we'll make that decision. But that's why I think that I have a good business record. And yes, I'm new to this, but it's not a rocket science. You can fix things if you want to.
Thank you. We're going to move on now to public safety and perception.
30 seconds for rebuttal.
Only when you're mentioned directly by name, so we're going to just move on to public safety perceptions for this next question. It's going to go to both of you, so you can address it and answer.
Crime in Atlantic City has declined steadily in recent years. However, public perception remains an issue with some residents and tourists who still feel uneasy. What do you believe is the best way to address those fears?
And we'll start with Mr. Small.
Well, we've been addressing it. And as you said, the numbers don't lie. Men, women, political opportunists, and my opponent lie about the safety of Atlantic City. But the numbers and facts don't. It's just simple. It's simple numbers. And when you get down to it, the city is safe and the city is clean. And perception isn't always reality. Under my leadership, we've hired more officers, we promoted more officers, we improved the supervisory ranks. We put the police force at a number that was acceptable to the police chief. He wanted 330, he's at 328. We've gotten promotional opportunities. We gave minority representation opportunities. Under my watch, the Atlantic City Police Department is now a majority minority department. Now let's talk about the investment. $5.8 million of non-taxpayers' money for a citywide camera program. We got license plate readers installed at every entry and exit here in the great city of Atlantic City. And the 3 murders that we had, the city of Atlantic City's cameras helped capture it all on tape.
Same question to you, Mr. Khan.
Can you repeat?
Crime in Atlantic City has declined steadily in recent years. However, public perception remains an issue with some residents and tourists feeling uneasy. What do you believe is the best way to address those fears?
Well, I think a lot of the crime doesn't get reported because a lot of people, like you have seen, if a guy comes to your store and takes some stuff and you call the police, a lot of times the police don't even show up. And it's a problem in Atlantic City. And also, if you see, a lot of people don't believe that if I'm going to file a complaint, something is going to happen. So, as you see the article, Atlantic City is number 2nd in the whole state right now, has the most crime in whole New Jersey. And it's an article, I think it was in the press too. So a lot of people, I don't think they report the crime. So if the people start reporting the crime, you will see the real numbers that come out.
Can I rebut? I mean, you did mention
We'll have,
situation.
since this is a hot topic between both of you, we'll have a follow-up for each.
Yes, well, first of all, talking about Atlantic Avenue, the only reason that he's on Atlantic Avenue is because his campaign headquarters is there. He hasn't been on Atlantic Avenue or any other neighborhood in the great city of Atlantic City. As far as crime in stores, you have people on Atlantic Avenue who are enablers that let people sell drugs in and out their store. It was Mayor Small's aggressive action that cut the business hours, but people on city council wanted to play politics and overrule it. Again, that is leadership, ladies and gentlemen, and my public safety record is bar none.
Thank you. Mr. Khan, would you like to follow up?
See, just said that they have to cut the hours. You tell me a guy who has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in a store, is that his job to protect the store? Then why are we paying taxes? Why does he knows that how much is the rent? Did he went and talk to the store owners? What's going to affect that we close your stores at 10 o'clock? What the impact you're going to get on your sales? How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your electric? Just because it happened, it's your job to protect the store owners as a mayor.
We're going to continue because these next 2 questions are actually also on this topic, so we're going to move on.
These next 2 questions are directly from the readers of Press of Atlantic City. The first addresses food security in the city. Are CREDA's plans for the Renaissance Plaza sufficient to guarantee there will be a supermarket to replace the existing Save-A-Lot, and also ensure that there are no impediments to residents safely accessing the store? Currently, there's the presence of a liquor store and loitering outside that deters people from going in. We'll start with you.
Okay, that's a fair question, but once again, Atlantic City's problems are big, but the solution is small. I have full faith in CRDA, where I'm a board member at. CRDA has taken possession of Renaissance Plaza, and the plan is to make Renaissance Plaza into a beauty. Yes, we have issues, but however, we use $3 million grant to police Atlantic, Pacific Avenue, and the Renaissance Plaza area. Unfortunately, when we move the homeless from there, they go to another area. And people need to know and understand it's easier said than done when you're talking about our less fortunate people. If you ask them, do they want service, and they say no, there is absolutely nothing that you can do. As far as CRDA, we all know what happened with the grocery store with ShopRite. They asked for $18 million subsidy. They agreed. After COVID, they wanted 36. But the Renaissance Plaza liquor store will be gone. The Family Dollar will be gone. It will be enhanced security. Save-A-Lot will have a new operator by the end of the month. And Atlantic City residents have a grocery store that they can be a part of.
Thank you.
Well, again, why did the ShopRite didn't come? Because they know that the crime rate in Atlantic City is not safe to build because they know how much theft is going to happen. That's why the ShopRite didn't come, and it's really unfair to the residents of Atlantic City that there is not a single grocery store, a real supermarket in Atlantic City. And me, if God give me a chance to serve the people of Atlantic City, we will have a grocery store and a nice supermarket so people don't have to go other cities to get the fresh meat, the fresh deli, and everything that the people need. We should have it in Atlantic City.
I can rebut.
This is another reader. I want to get to the next reader submitted question. So, should it Atlantic City deploy more foot patrol officers in every ward, similar to efforts in the tourism zones? Why or why not? We're gonna start with you.
Well, Chief Sarko, if he was standing right here, he would tell you that I said Atlantic City can't just be about the tourism district. Our priority needs to be the neighborhood. We giving the police officers the requisite number that they require. It is important, I believe, that we got the best police department in the world. No other area gets the calls of service that Atlantic City does. We went from having lines wrapped around city council, where people were complaining about police brutality, to no force of action by the Atlantic City Police Department. We've come a long way. We've adopted that community philosophy. Could we be better at walking beats and deployment? That's always a work in progress, but we're right there making sure that it happens. Again, with Mayor Small, you don't have to worry about winging a prayer or hoping what someone is going to do. You're going to look at my record of public service in the city for supporting all city employees and making sure that they have the tools that are equipped to succeed and conducive to good public safety.
Same question to you.
See, in Atlantic City, that's what I said it in the beginning, that people don't feel safe because I think we are about 100 cops short. We need to have, that's why we want to audit and we want to see where we can save the money and we can have more police officers. And that's going to help the residents of Atlantic City when you see, okay, I'm not saying there should be a cop on every block, but we should have enough police presence that people feel safe. And once the people will feel safe, everything will come out. The economy, everything will get better once the people start feeling safe. And the police I'm not saying that they're doing a bad job, but they need more help. They need more officers. I think we are about 100 police officers short, and we need to hire them. We need to hire them so people feel safe in Atlantic City.
All right, I think I should have a chance to, but because he's speaking a lot of non-factual issues, and you're just letting them just talk.
We'll have a follow-up for each. The rebuttals are for when someone is directly attacked by name.
He's directly saying that Atlantic City is not safe. That's all he's been saying all night.
Let's have a follow-up for each on this.
Okay.
You want to continue on this topic?
Okay, yes. So as far as the negativity, why do you want to run for mayor, Mr. Khan, when everything out of your mouth is Atlantic City is not safe, Atlantic City is not clean? It's easier said than done when you make a crazy statement that we should hire 100 more police officers. Who is going to pay for it? Mayor Small has kept the taxes down for 6 straight years, going on 7 next year. And the fact that you keep complaining about different things and saying that the city is not clean and safe, that doesn't bode well for your chances. Come up with a plan. As far as an audit, we have an internal audit every year, and it's also audited by the state, as well as Moody's and Standard & Poor's of Wall Street. So you don't know what you're talking about when you say that you do an audit.
So, Mr. Khan.
Did you read that article that the state just said that we're going to have a 14% increase on the taxes next year, starting next year? I think people have read all that, and he's talking about that I don't know what I'm talking about, the facts don't lie. It's the article. Why he did not sue that article? Why did they lie about that article that it's going to be increased in 40%? Is that a lie? You should come up and say that's a lie. Then why did that article came? The starting next year, it's going to be 14% increase on taxes.
We're going to have some questions about fiscal policy later, so we are going to get back to this. So for now, we're going to move on to the next topic.
The next topic is vacant or abandoned properties. A recent presentation to City Council urged the city to more aggressively enforce existing laws to hold owners accountable for vacant properties so that out-of-town property owners are not leaving taxpayers to shoulder cleanup and safety costs. Mr. Khan, the question to you is, how would you encourage better upkeep of abandoned or vacant properties to address visible signs of neglect?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
The entire premise of the
I'm
question.
sorry, I was drinking water again.
A recent presentation to City Council urged the city to more aggressively enforce existing laws to hold owners accountable for vacant properties so that out-of-town property owners are not leaving taxpayers to shoulder the cleanup costs and safety costs. The question, how would you encourage better upkeep of abandoned or vacant properties to address visible signs of neglect?
Well, you've seen, it was an article, it's about more than 1,000 properties are vacant right now. And as I said it before, we take property taxes. We need to have a team that goes to the people of Atlantic City and ask them, Is your financials are okay? Do you need any help? This is the mayor's job. What else the mayor is just gonna come and say, great day, great day? It's not gonna work like that. And you have to have a plan. You have to go and talk to the residents that, hey, I think this doesn't look good. You just don't start giving them tickets, because a lot of the people can't afford to remodel their homes. We take property taxes from the people. That's why if they cannot afford it, we should help them. And we should have a budget for that. And we should help the people to fix their properties.
Mr. Small, the question to you is, why hasn't the city more fully used tools like the Abandoned Properties Act or the Vacant Property Registration Program? And how would you plan to strengthen enforcement?
First of all, the city has used the tools that we have to succeed. And once again, my opponent is clearly out of his league, talking about lowering the taxes or making the city pay for people to upkeep their property. As a homeowner that lives in Atlantic City, which my opponent doesn't, you should take pride in your personal property that you own, be it where you live, your investment property, and more. We have a great code enforcement department under the direction of Adele Finch and Sears Wright, and our code enforcement officers do a tremendous job. And we do give them the tools to succeed. And you have to remember, all properties in the great city of Atlantic City aren't owned by the great city of Atlantic City. There's private owners, and we do a clean and lean program. And people don't cut their grass in a timely manner, or people's property is out of whack. If people don't want to deal with the consequences of not upkeeping their property and make Atlantic City beautiful, that's on them. They have to pay the fine.
Thank you.
But can I respond to one of he personally attacked me that I don't live in Atlantic City?
Let's have 1:37 follow-up here, and then we're going to move on to some questions about fiscal policy.
Even in the last debate, I offered him that he can come to my house for dinner that night. I'm going to offer him again tonight in front of everybody, so I can show him the way you will live. He's bringing up this, like he's accusing me that I don't know anything. He doesn't know either that I live in Atlantic City. I think some people are just putting in his brain that I don't live here. And that is wrong. Even tonight, after the debate, you're welcome to my house.
What's on the menu?
What you like? You're my guest. You want to stay?
I'll stay tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to state aid here. So Atlantic City has been under state oversight since 2016. Since then, New Jersey has provided Atlantic City with more than $800 million in aid. We want to make sure we're able to secure this question here. So Atlantic City has been under state oversight since 2016. Since then, New Jersey has provided Atlantic City with more than $800 million in aid to stabilize its finances. State aid is in question, with Republican gubernatorial candidate John Giorelli saying he would not apply the annual, quote, fiscal band-aid to major cities in New Jersey. How do you plan to deal with the potential loss of state funding?
Well, first of all, as a person that lived through the state takeover since inception, when I was the city council president, I worked with the other side, Chris Christie, who we were in the fight with Chris Christie and Steve Sweeney. But when we lost, we started working together because it was for the betterment of Atlantic City. We're going to continue to do things like wean off of transitional aid like we have done each and every year. The city's finances are as stable as ever. And when Moody's and Standard & Poor's, an independent Wall Street agency who has wrote horrific reports about the great city of Atlantic City, they praised our finances. When we go under review this year, we are set below investment grade. We will be investment grade. We don't need to go to the market. But you rather have options and not need them than need options and not have them. And that's how far the city's finances has come. And Wall Street, Moody's and Standard & Poor's has said that the turnaround of Atlantic City is improved management of the city under the small administration. And that's in black and white.
Mr. Khan, same question to you.
Well, he's been mayor for 6 years, and the state has been taken over while he's mayor. I want to ask him why he has not, so that we shouldn't be dependent on the state. Yes, we have CRDA, that is doing a good job. But why is the state, why we have not done a good budget that we don't need the state funding anymore? And people of Atlantic City suffer because of the state takeover. And he's right, sometimes I feel that he cannot make some decisions because of the state. But why in the 6 years he has not done that we don't have to worry about the state takeover, and we should be independent. And that's why I'm running, that we should have a budget, that we know how much the money is coming and how much is money going on, so we don't need help from the state. And of course, state should help if we need their help, but we should have an independent city, and we haven't had it for the last 6 years.
Would you like to follow up?
Yes, thank you, I appreciate that. First of all, I am running the city, and anyone that knows that law, which is measured the state takeover, is not being implemented because the state of New Jersey believes in me. Secondly, I'm offended as a longtime Atlantic City resident who, according to the state's own report, watched $154.5 million leave the great city of Atlantic City and go to other places in New Jersey. The state should be doing more for Atlantic City. We should get more. We don't get luxury tax, we don't get parking tax, and we don't get a penny off a multi-billion-dollar industry called sports gaming that Mayor Small was up front on since he was a councilman.
Let's do a quick 30 seconds on these next two questions because you both pretty much answered it. But Mr. Small, unless extended, the state oversight is set to expire next year. Do you believe Atlantic City is ready to manage its finances independently?
Yes. As you see, we're getting things done like never before. Lowered the taxes 6 straight years. Implemented new departments. Spending is down and programming is up. This administration has invested in human capital. Being the mayor is not just showing up and taking pictures. I have the fiscal management responsibility as I've been in charge of organizations and departments, and I've excelled everywhere I've been. And you see all of these people, some city employees, the city has never been better as far as investing in human capital. And that's all happening under my watch.
Mr. Khan, a quick 30 seconds on this. How would you handle the end of state oversight? Do you support an immediate full return to local control or a phased approach?
I think we should be independent. I support that we should be independent, and why we have not done for the last 6 years. That's why you think you've been doing so good.
It's something called legislation.
But why?
You know what legislation is?
Yeah.
So what is it?
So why does?
What is it?
No. My point is, why you have not done it?
I'm under legislation, but it's not being implemented. Again, do you know what legislation
No,
is?
but why is that not implemented? That's my
Do
question.
you know what legislation is?
Okay.
Forget about that. I'm asking you
Let's
why.
let's move on. We're going to move on to a question on taxes. And I know you both mentioned this already in previous answers, so let's move on to this topic.
Atlantic City's $280 million budget was approved in August by the state's local finance board, marking the 6th straight year of a property tax increase.
Thank you.
Mr. Small, you praised the relief for taxpayers, but one member of the local finance board said he was concerned that continued cuts could create instability and lead to sharp tax increases in coming years. How do you plan to maintain stable city finances and avoid future tax spikes while continuing to offer relief to residents who have been suffering from high property taxes?
Well, Buzz, I thank you for that softball. The #1 priority that I said would be the taxpayers. In addition to 6 straight years of property tax increases, I'm the only mayor in the history of Atlantic City to give money back to the taxpayers. And all you taxpayers here, no matter what side you're on, you do remember the form you filled out and got $500 from the great city of Atlantic City. I take exception to that person, and if you were on the meeting, you heard me take him to task. Who in the hell is he to say that the residents of Atlantic City and question why everyone else is up and Atlantic City is down? It's called fiscal responsibility.